Let's. Here is Bernie Sanders on with Anderson Cooper, and there are two things that lead me to believe that Tuesday's debate is going to be a little bit more fireworky than we have seen in the past, and part of that is that. Okay. Yeah, let's start with 8. That Elizabeth Warren has written a piece on that they have posted now about the history of the bankruptcy bill and Joe Biden, which has been a long time coming. I suspect that she should have done this a while back, frankly. And notice the way that Sanders does this. I think it's interesting, and I think that this is something that Warren should have done about the bankruptcy bill in the past. The critique, the substantive critique, is actually just spoken in support of a pragmatic critique. The pragmatic critique is Joe Biden is going to have a tough time against Donald Trump. And then Bernie outlays the substantive critique. The substantive critique is one which I agree with. But there are people who may have a problem with the substantive critique. And so Bernie's very smartly delivers this as really making a pragmatic argument about electability because Donald Trump will surely bring this up. Elizabeth Warren could have done the same thing with the bankruptcy bill. Avoided to be seen attacking Joe Biden by talking about how Donald Trump will attack Joe Biden, even though what you're also doing is attacking Joe Biden.
Joe Biden voted and helped lead the effort for the war in Iraq, the most dangerous foreign policy blunder in the modern history of this country. Joe Biden voted for the disastrous trade agreements like NAFTA and permanent normal trade relations with China, which cost us millions of jobs. You think that's going to play well in Michigan or Wisconsin or Pennsylvania? You know, Joe Biden has been on the floor of the Senate talking about the need to cut Social Security or Medicare or Medicaid. Joe Biden pushed a bankruptcy bill, which has caused enormous financial problems for working families.
What's going on? Is that the entire clip? Where's the part where he says Joe Biden is a good guy? Is that it? Well, that's the way he introduced it. But anyways, that's where he's.
Sorry, the full clip is he says he is genuinely a friend of mine.
Yes.
I really do like him.
The idea is that Sanders is making it as if he's not attacking Joe Biden. All he's doing is outlining the litany of attacks that will come at Joe Biden and why he's vulnerable in the general election. And
very smart.
It's a very effective way of doing it because you don't have to argue the merits of the bankruptcy bill. You don't have to argue the merits of cutting Social Security and Medicare. You don't have to argue the merits of the Iraq war or even whether it's salient. Now, I happen to think it does, and many, many people listening to that happen to think it is. But the reality is that, here's the front part of that.
Joe and I are friends, and I truly like Joe. But what is imperative is that we defeat Trump, the most dangerous president in modern history. And that means you're going to have a huge voter turnout. You're going to have to get working people excited. You're going to have to get young people excited. Joe Biden voted and helped lead the effort for the war in Iraq, the most dangerous foreign
and so on.
blunder.
There it is. I mean, so he's setting up this attack on Biden as if he is really in some ways like just giving warning to Biden, like, here are all your liabilities in the general election. Both things are true. The substantive attacks that he is launching on Biden, the vulnerabilities are problematic for Democratic primary voters. But he is going now at the pragmatic belief that Joe Biden is somehow a better candidate in the general election. And he is clearly not because of those things.
Right.
Every one of those things that Sanders has outlined should not only be problematic for Democratic voters, hopefully they are, but if they're not, they're also things that Donald Trump ran on in 2016.
They're precisely right. And then
he's going to get up there and go like, Joe, thank you for the bankruptcy bill. That helped me out when I was a businessman, but I'm not a businessman.
That's exactly. And then then Biden will even turn around and say like, this is the guy that wants to cut Social Security and Medicare. Well, okay, but here's more video of you. Bernie just, the lineup is perfect. There just is not a single area where he can't just say like, as Nathan Robinson said earlier, right? Like I've been fighting against what you individually personify my whole career. It's a clear choice.
I'm glad he went after him on trade as well, because we've been saying all along, Biden is vulnerable on trade. I think sometimes people underestimate the impact of trade deals like NAFTA on swing states in the Rust Belt that are going to be especially important in this election. And I hope Bernie keeps going with that line.